We've been in off-season mode for the New York Knicks for a couple of weeks now, and I think it is finally time for me to share my perfect off-season plan. This is always one of my favorite videos to do. I'm going to sit in the seat of Leon Rose and go step by step through the off-season, and I'm going to tell you the moves the Knicks need to make so they can win an NBA title next year. Let's start at the draft. Let's start at the NBA draft. As we know, the New York Knicks, they own pick 24. They own pick 25. They also own pick 28. The draft, I believe, is on the 26th and 27th of June. It'll be a two-day event. We'll be live on the channel for both of those days. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. All right, first move I'm making. I'm going to make this trade that Bleacher Report put up there. Bleacher Report put up an article that is one trade every team needs to make, and theirs was the New York Knicks make a trade with the Miami Heat. They trade pick 24 and 25 to Miami. They get all the way up to number 15 overall in the NBA draft, and they also get a 2026 second-round pick that comes from the Heat that is owned by the Heat that comes from the Los Angeles Lakers. So now the Knicks are picking 15th, and they're picking 38th, and they also pocketed a future second-round pick. I'm doing this deal, and I'm on the clock, and I am making a move for Dalton Knecht. Give me Dalton Knecht. That's the move I'm making. I'm going out, and I'm getting him. I think the Knicks need to go out and add another score. And Dalton Knecht is that guy. He is someone that can come off the bench for you and provide you with instant offense. 23 years old, 6'9" wingspan. Last year averaged 21.7 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and he could score the basketball from every inch of hardwood in the half court. He is someone that I would compare to Bojan Bogdanovic. And if you could have a cheap, cost-controlled Bojan Bogdanovic for the next 4 years, I think it makes a lot of sense. You need a scorer off the bench. You need someone that can come off the bench and relieve the scoring duties of Jalen Brunson. The New York Knicks cannot enter another year where it is Jalen Brunson or bust on offense. They were 14 points worse when Brunson was on the bench compared to on the floor. I'm not saying Dalton Knecht fixes that overnight, but it gives you someone for the next 4 years that's cheap, that's cost-controlled, and then I could see walking into the NBA in his rookie year averaging 12 points per game and shooting 38% from deep. He's almost an offense within himself because of the off-ball movement. It's another thing that I really like about him is his way that he goes about navigating, creating space, and getting open. He's got a really, really high basketball IQ. You're back on the clock at pick 38, and I am going to select Oso Iguodaro, the big man out of Marquette, at pick 38. I believe that he's one of the better defenders in this draft class. He's an explosive athlete, and he's got a little touch around the rim. He's got that Isaiah Hartenstein push shot down. 21 years old, 6'9", 6'10", so a little bit undersized, but he makes up for it with his wingspan and his strength. Last year, playing for Marquette, he averaged 13.4 points per game, just shy of 7 rebounds, just shy of 3 assists, giving you over a steal per night and over a block per night. And he knocked it down from the field at 57.6%. He doesn't stretch the floor. He doesn't shoot the three from outside. He's got that push shot from inside the paint. And this could, A, be your Precious Achiuwa replacement, or you could pair him in your front court coming off the bench with Precious. Run Precious at the 4 with Oso at the 5. So we made our draft picks. We traded up for Dalton Knecht, and we made a pick for Oso Iguodaro. Now we got to look at free agency. We know Isaiah Hartenstein's a free agent. We know Alec Burks is a free agent, as well as Achiuwa, Shake Milton, and OG Anunoby has a player option. He'll decline that and become a free agent. I think this is important to know. The New York Knicks, as of right now, with OG Anunoby declining his player option, have $136 million in committed salary, right? Which means that they are $40 million away from the first apron. They're $50 million away from the second apron. You do not want to enter the second apron. If you do, it handcuffs you on how you are going to build in the future. For all the people that say, Marsh, run it back. If the Knicks run it back, they're a second apron team. And then for them to trade for a player in the NBA trade deadline, It's got to be a one-for-one swap. You can't aggregate salary. You can't take back more money. And you also lose that 7th first-round pick down the line. So it makes it almost impossible to continue to prove your roster. So that means I am going to decline Bojan Bogdanovic's $19 million because I cannot be a second apron team. I can't. So I'm going to decline his $19 million, which means I owe him $2 million, and which means he's going to be a free agent. It stinks, no doubt about it. That's a cost of doing business, and I would have to move on from Bojan Bogdanovic because I am re-signing Isaiah Hartenstein, and I am re-signing OG Anunoby. I'm going to give Hartenstein that full offer we can give him of 4 years for $72.5 million, and I'm also going to sign OG Anunoby to a 4-year, $50 million deal. So you are right on the cusp of being either a first apron team, and then right on the border of being that second apron team. But you're just right there. I'm also re-signing Precious Achiuwa, but only for $2 or $3 million per year. If Achiuwa wants more than that, he's got to go play somewhere else. I just can't afford it. I'd love to bring Precious back. I love his versatility. I love his energy. I love what he brings on defense. He's never scared, and he stepped up in the playoffs. But it's to come off the bench. I'm also letting Alec Burks walk, and I am letting Shake Milton walk unless they both want to come back on veteran minimum deals. So we brought back Precious. We brought back OG. We brought back Hartenstein. We declined the player option for Bogey. We let Burks walk. We let Milton walk. We selected Dalton Connect and Oso Iguodaro in the second round of the NBA draft. Coming up next, the big trade. Coming up next is the big trade. Because I truly do believe that this is the time for the Knicks to punch their tickets. A check that's not cashed does you no justice in your back pocket. It's time for the Knicks to cash in on some of those first-round picks. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free, informative, entertaining updates on the latest Knicks news and rumors. So subscribe and turn your notifications on for videos every day on your New York Knicks. Now's the time. Now is the time for the Knicks to go all in. Because if you don't go all in, and you re-sign OG and you re-sign Hartenstein, you're at least a first apron team. You accept the $20 million that Bogies do, you're a second apron team. And then the way that you are limited in making trades going forward is a problem. If I said $50 million for OG Anunoby, I apologize, Bill. It's 4 years for $150 is my contract projection for OG Anunoby. Now's the time to do it. You go all in for Mikal Bridges. You do whatever it takes. You make the Brooklyn Nets block your number, change their number, and say no to the heaven sink that the kitchen sink that we are willing to offer them. And you get it done while keeping Julius Randle. You do not trade Julius Randle for Mikal Bridges. I know in the past I have said that, but this is my Knicks perfect offseason. And a perfect offseason for the Knicks would be trading for Mikal Bridges while keeping Julius Randle. And I think the only way that you can get that done is if you're going to add a trade package that is very similar to this right here. That would be Mitchell Robinson you'd have to give up, Miles McBride you would have to give up, and 5 first-round picks, and 3 of them are probably unprotected. Because you know what? You're going to have to overpay to get Mikal Bridges. The Nets don't like you. You're going to have to overpay. But you know what? Have you ever bought something that you absolutely love, and then you look back 5 months from now and be like, man, I paid a little bit too much? No, you loved it, and you'd buy it again. And if I get Mikal Bridges and I overpay, I'm going to say, I don't give a shit. Because I got 11 first-rounders in the next 7 years. I got 8 tradable first-round picks. I got 4 first-round picks in 2025. And I got 2 first-round picks in 2024. If the Knicks trade 5 first-round picks, you still have 11 first-round picks. Push the graphic. 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. If you trade 5, you still have 11. Or if you have 11 and you trade 5, you still got 6. 6 first-rounders in the next 7 years. It's not overpaying. If you've got the money to spend, spend it. Get it done. Do whatever it takes to trade for Mikal Bridges while keeping Julius Randle. If I got to give up 6 first-round picks with Robinson and McBride, I would do it. Because if you could form a starting lineup of Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randle, and Hartenstein, you are competing for an NBA championship year in and year out. So I'll ask you, will you make this trade? Would you make this trade? Type A for accept. Type D for decline. I want to hear from everybody in the comment section. A for accept, D for decline. I want to hear from you. We'll break down more of my perfect offseason plan coming up in a second. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. You create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply pick more or you simply pick less. Win big money, withdraw your winnings, and play PrizePicks. The NBA Finals is here, and now is the time to get hooked up with PrizePicks. I played in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and I won big money. I'm going to be playing in Game 2, but I'm also playing for the NFL season as well. And they've already got some season-long lineups that you could play. Brian Burns, more than 8.75 sacks, and then Justin Jefferson, more than 8.5 receiving touchdowns. I think both these are locks. You can roll with my picks or fade my picks, but I kindly ask that you do it with our proud sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS. And PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app, will match your first deposit all the way up to $100. That link will be clickable in the comments and description. Alrighty, with the New York Knicks having traded Miles McBride in my video in the perfect offseason, because we just traded for Mikal Bridges, you still need a backup point guard. So I'm going to go look in NFL free agency. I'm going to go look in NBA free agency. I'm going to go look at some players in free agency. And I'm looking at Chris Paul. I am. I did a video on him a couple days ago. I know some people didn't love that. But if I can get Chris Paul to run my second unit, you're in a really good spot. He's still a good player, guys. Yes, he's older. Yes, he's had some injuries, his rack up. But is there anybody that off the bench that you probably get for $2 or $3 million very cheaply in free agency? I don't think so. And you can get a guy that can run your offense. Still a pick-and-roll maestro. Still knocking down the pull-up mid-range jumper at over 45%. Shot 42% from 3 on catch-and-shoot spots. I would love to add Chris Paul as a backup point guard for this starting 5. You roll with Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Randall, and Hartenstein, you're winning a championship. You're winning a championship. Yeah, you are. You're winning a championship. Maybe not next year. Maybe the year after that. And then you got a bench unit that features Chris Paul, Dante DiVincenzo, Dalton Connect, Josh Hart, Preston Achiuwa, Jericho Sims, Oso Iguodala, who we selected at pick 38. Yeah, I think that this would be a pretty good team. If you roll with Bridges, Brunson, Randall, OG, Hartenstein, Chris Paul, Dante, Hart, Connect, and Precious. Still got Jericho as a backup big. You still got Iguodala as a rookie. And you still got first-round picks. Yeah. I think that would be pretty dang cool. If it's not Chris Paul, I'd be looking at a guy like Kyle Lowry, a veteran cheap point guard as well, to come in. I think that would be pretty dang cool. I see someone in the chat says the bench doesn't look too good. Well, this bench has 2 players that started that were a part of a team that got to the second round in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference. So I think it's doing all right. Grade my offseason plan. I want to hear from you. Grade my off-season plan. We traded Miles McBride and Mitchell Robinson for Mikal Bridges. We also gave up 5 first-round picks. We traded up in the first round to select Dalton Connect, and we went out and signed Chris Paul and some other moves. A, B, C, D, or F, grade my off-season plan for me in the comment section. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks.